New all-time high day. Hello. New all-time highs in the stock market, semiconductors, Nasdaq. Everyone, if you're invested, it's the highest your account has been. Congratulations. Just extraordinary. So 534 close on SPY. Yeah, a lot of things to talk about. Exciting. But yeah, 534 SPY, semis new all-time highs, Nasdaq new all-time highs. We'll get a look. Let's share the screen and see what exactly did these moves today. Let's share our screen here. All right, so semiconductors up a big 5%. A lot of this was NVIDIA and a couple other stocks, but pretty crazy. Semis moved up huge, up 5%, and the Nasdaq up 2% as a whole. Lift SPY, which was up 1% to new all-time highs, 1.25% or so. So let's take a look. Let's scout. We'll go to so first, so up semiconductors, Qs, growth. It's funny. I usually have 5 on this list. Only today was 3 in multiple sigma or standard deviation moves. So literally all they were buying today, and obviously some of this was bigger buckets than not, but they were buying semis, NVIDIA, Supermicro, those kinds of things, AMD, Broadcom, blah, blah, blah. The Qs in general, you saw Apple, Google, everything I'm assuming moved obviously the same way. When you get the Qs up 2%, and then growth up just a touch under than that, depending on the denomination, the constituency of the names involved. Volatility was the only thing that was down more than, and this was like a 1.1 sigma move, but a good, step back for the VIX, down almost 2%. And then a lot of flip-flops here. It was crazy. Nat gas was on the biggest loser list. Now it's on the biggest winner list. And then biotech has catapulted to being the, if you look on a 5-day look back, the best trade of the week. Short oil is the second best trade, and then short silver is the third. So let's get under the hood and look at these charts, see what happened today. So first, let's go to the charts. Okay, so right here is an intraday look. Yeah, so NVIDIA was up 5% here. You see AMD up 3.7, even Meta up 3.6, another semiconductor up 3.8. Taiwan Semi up huge. This really was the surge, up 7%. You saw the leverage ETF up nearly 13%. And another levered ETF up 8%, Broadcom up 6%. So they bought this in droves. I was talking about all last week. It's funny, we were talking about, or I was saying that I expect the weakness to pervade in the SPY through some point this week. I was leaning more towards middle, towards end, possibly right around now. It looks like I was off by a couple of days. And let me zoom out here. So this was the intraday chart today, not to speak too much about this, but it was just a ramp up all day. Let me switch to a 30-minute view. There wasn't a downtick, essentially. They bought it from the bell. Actually, that was the only downtick, essentially. And then 10 a.m., they bought it all the way throughout. We started really gaining momentum at 11 o'clock, where you see the separation between that, closing the bottom of the bar, or the top of the bar, and this orange line, which is volume weighted average price. We really started pulling away, and there was a nice surge at 3:30 to catapult us to new all-time highs. So, as I was saying, the weakness, it looked like I was off by about 5 days. May 31st, if you recall, the Friday before Memorial Day, when we, plunged to 518, that looks like that was the level that I was eyeing. That was percent actually below the 21 EMA, which is what I target, and that was the chance. In terms of, like I said, trading closer to EMA, you had your chance up until yesterday. We got pretty close there if you timed it right on the lows, and now it looks like obviously we've ascended. All that being said, as you can see here, unless we get a vol expansion, it's very tightly coiled here. Could get a nice cup and handle here, a technical pattern, but it's not exactly perfect if it's going to have a big move. But basically, what I'm saying is, I am seeing strength, obviously, for the next 2 weeks or so in the markets. You can't be short or bearish leaning when it's literally printing new all-time highs intraday and closing highs. But the target I had for this all along was around 536 to 540, so it's not a huge jump from here. So might frustrate people, but I am buying stocks. I'm not going to just to get long. It's going higher. I think there is 7 trillion in money market funds, and I hate stats like that, but I do think there is very likely, and that was a Goldman note on the trading desk going around today, and that was being circulated online and on TV, that there's a wall of cash coming in, and seasonally wise, July is strong. You want to be long like this part of the summer. Actually, I haven't seen the seasonality chart. I'm not going to pull it up right now, but you want to be long then. All right, so let me look at SMH. It's funny. If you look at my notepad here, it literally says buy SMH the first week of June. I have here for a low. So this one on a 1 year, you're probably going to see it potentially even more prominent. That May 31st, those lows, it hit 234, which would have been exactly, I don't, if you've known, we'll look at this. But if I say it there, my target was 232. The low was 235 that day. Here we are at 255. My target for this is literally, I'm looking at this other screen, a different time frame of volatility band. It's like 246, 250. So it's a little overdone. We're literally overbought. So great momentum. Don't want to fight it, but not a great time. I'm saying tactically to step it in buy. I don't know if you're going to capture a lot of alpha right here. All that being said, in terms of longer trends, 3 to 6 months from now, I think you'll be pleased. The Qs, basically the same chart, but we'll look at this subset exactly instead. Yep, my level for this one, there was a lot of points of significance for 447 on this chart, and we were smack dab in the middle of that on that May 31st low. You actually got close to it on the Monday following, 2 days ago. You got to 448, and here we are all the way to 463. My goodness. So, again, my target on this, without bias, I have 462. And over here, I believe is the same level. Close to 464. So not a lot here. Probably going to oscillate here, trying to base and then form some energy for a bigger move higher. But it's done a lot. The market's done a lot in 4 days. So whenever it does that, it obviously has a lot of short-term momentum holding its 5 EMAs and such, or 5 SMAs, or simple moving averages. But it's difficult to really just go up, up, up and away. As you know that phrase, trees don't grow to the sky. IWF, whoops, they're calling about the show. No. Here's Russell Growth. So same thing, same chart, very close. Like I said, they were only buying really 3 things today. It was semis, it was the Qs, it was growth. And obviously those are all somewhat correlated. This looks good, but again, it's at target. 350 is where I would put this, and it's at 351. All right, so in terms of down, let's look at volatility, the only thing having a mover. I was saying in terms of, this is interesting, I said 1270 would be a level of where I would say this move is done to the downside for weakness. And just by comparison, May 31st, we hit a high of 1220. So it was off by 50 cents. It's about 4% in this index. VXX, yeah, this looks appropriate. It was going towards its 21-day exponential moving average. You moved off the 52-week low, May 22nd, which was 1112. And now I believe we move in ascent towards, it's unbelievable to say, but I think we're actually going to head towards 1085. I think you're going to see about 55 cents come off of this, or about another 5-6%. And that makes sense. So SPY doesn't rip to the upside. This market digests rates where they are, and the possibility of 1 cuts or no cuts, etc. Vol consolidates. You get a reduction in that more so than the gain in S&P. Is what I'm thinking for this for the next 2 weeks, for this. All right, now let's look at some of the crazy movers. XBI, the best trade in the market now. All of a sudden, you're going to see why. So very sharp. If you bought this on the 29th, I know it's just picture perfect here, but in 1 week of trading, you would have got this from 87 to 94. That's extraordinary. Let me look at the chart and zoom out, and let's see what is setting up now. So a great entry, just a lot of mean reversion points, would have been $90. 90 would have been really nice for a 96 target. Obviously here, 94 target, 96, not as much. I do think it'll get there. But yeah, I think it'll get there. There's probably better areas in the market to put your money, but this isn't horrible. I think you do very potentially try and get to these March highs, as it were. So that's interesting. It's the best trade right now on a percentage basis on the past 5-day look back. It's not bad if you're trying to. That's not a bad trade. The XBIs. So a trade would be, buying the July 96 calls, or whoever has a lot of open interest and things like that. So that's interesting. XBI. I never really thought about it. All right, GBTC, the second best long in the market, up 5.6% over the past 5 days, or an average of 1% per day. Just a nice steady rise from here. In the past 5 days, you can see there closed at 61 today, 63.5. Let me see here about like targets and where it can go upside. I think it's got a little bit to go. This might have. It's tough. I mean, I got a little bit to go. This is tough. This 52-week high right there, 65.60 is obviously where it's trying to get to. We'll see, but this is the second best long. Yeah, I don't love this buying so close to the band. I do think it has a little bit more upside to go. You'll see the themes of this, a little bit more upside, a little more downside. All right, so TLT bonds, we called it 2 weeks ago. We said there's going to be relief in the rates. That's all it was going to be. And then, boom, the rates have really collapsed. The 10-year has gone nosedived. I think I saw 440 today or so. So here's the deal. So I think now TLT is going to start to get a bid. Today, this is the third best long in the market over the past week, up 4.5%, meaning rates are declining. But look what's happened here. It has done this typically for quite a while now. It started doing this in December, where it peaks above a falling 200-day moving average, and it can happen for nothing, basically like an hour, or it can happen for 2 days. It can happen for a week. It can happen for about 3 days, or it can happen for 2 to 3 weeks. So this is where we're looking like right now. So now you have to look at levels. 93 does look like where this gets tired, right around here. So I think you're going to get something where it did it like this back in March, or very similar to what happened in February. I'm also seeing just similar exact levels of where it tops out in RSI outside of that huge surge it had in December. So I think from here you'll start to see TLT decline and rates go up. Maybe we'll see. That's what makes sense in this, but all coiled with an S&P that just stays kind of locks out. But we'll see. Pretty interesting. But TLT is not usual. It is usual. It is unusual that you get the best three longs in the market: biotech, Bitcoin, bonds, and nat gas and REITs. That doesn't happen. So market's always easy to trade, as you know. Okay, nat gas. Let's look at this. The fourth best long in the market, up 4% over the past week. This is crazy. I got to zoom in because it's such a piece of crapola. Yep, this Dikembe beautifully on the 23rd, right at its 200-day moving average. Does it try to do the same thing again? I think this was quite a move today at 5%. I think this tries to make a move towards 2040. Yeah, right around here. Right, exactly, right where this bar got kind of tired on the 23rd. And so that'd be a nice move from here. 2030 from 1890, or call it 19 bucks. So $1.30, pretty nice move. 7% or something like that to the upside. I think it wants to go there. And then these REITs, obviously rates have been collapsing, so REITs have been enjoying that benefit. Overall, there's better places in the market to put your money than this overall. I don't like the fact that it topped basically Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve week, and it's been down ever since. You do have, let me think. Let me see here. This looks like it's trying to make a move to 2020, right to the top of this band. I think very reasonable. That's 40 cents away. It's had a good week, up 4%. A nice, really, look what happened. This 200-day moving average, it got below it just for a glimpse and then shot up. Interesting. Yeah, I think this makes a move towards 2020 in the short term before mean reverting back to this 19-quarter level. I think it's proven decent support. I think it'll actually trade close to there. So that in itself tells you something about where we're believing with rates, right? Okay, so to the downside, the worst trades in the market: oil down 6% over the past week, the best short in the entire market. You can see here what happened. Yep, right there. Lost momentum at 78 bucks. Now we're trading all the way down to 72 essentially. Sharp rise from here off the lows. Let me see a larger chart. This just looks a little bit overdone. I mean, it's really literally bouncing off the 30 RSI. Under 30 is oversold. There's just strong support. The 21 EMA, for one, is at 75. And I'm seeing a lot of other moving averages there as well. Middle Bollinger Band obviously is going to reside there. And I have a longer-term moving average as well. The 200-day moving average is at 74. So I think you'll get a short-term bump up here. It's had a really rough week. Tried to take off some of that today, up 1.1%. Silver, we were looking at this. Silver is an absolute superstar this year. If you broke asset class by best performers, it's Bitcoin. When I say asset class, I mean highly traded ETFs. It is Bitcoin, the GBTC class. It's semiconductors, and it's silver. Those are the top three performers, Jan 1 through June 5th, 2024. And I mean, that'll tell you a lot of the story. What a chart. So let's look. It's had a really bad week, down 6%. Today it was up 1.4. Yeah, I was just going to say, so last week I said this week, silver looks like it's readying itself for an entry around 27.30. That's my updated information. I think last week I probably said, actually, I think I said right around 27.30. So right here, you can see where we closed at 27.40. I think this looks good and could be getting ready to go. I might tactically look at this. Options are very cheap in this typically in terms of dollar premium. So they're very low cost. You don't need a ton of contracts because you're going to spend a lot of commission as well. But this looks good. My target on this is 29.30 or just, what's the 52-week high? 29.56. So just inside. 29.30 is almost $2. That could be a big mover. It's obviously going to be expensive, but a nice one here. Silver potentially, you can also do the stock, or there's, I think, levered ETFs on it as well. But silver having a bad week, I think it's getting ready to recover. Today, I think, was the beginning. Third biggest short or best short over the past week is VXX, down 5%. No repeats, though. We already looked at that chart. And then Mexico, the fourth best short in the market, down 5%. This was up big today, up 4%, and it's still, because of what it's done over the past week, down hard. But this really recovering hard. I just noticed I'm yelling. It's because the air conditioner goes on so loud that I have to boom my voice over it. Now I can feel like a psychopath, and now I can talk lower. Anyway, Mexico is up 4% today. But no, that's huge. Sorry, I scared the crap out of Rocco. Sorry. So EWW still net, though, down 5% over the past week. Let me look. This story does not look superb. It topped April 9th. Let me look. This looks overdone. I'd said before in the call or in the video, I think on Monday or whenever this first happened. Yeah, I mean, literally, it says right here. Monday was their collapse. I said this was probably going to have a mean reversion, at least just a bounce up towards 63. And look, where do we close? At $62. So there's trades around that. The question is where this used to be, and I think this is just going to be a blip, but it's got to recover the $64 and then at least base around 64.70, 64.70, and that would instill confidence. But interesting looking chart. And then lastly, uranium, the fifth biggest short in the market this week, is down 5%, the same amount as Mexico, actually. This chart looks much better. I think it's down 40 basis points today. This looks, let me look at this here. This looks good. You're getting a gift, in my opinion, getting it under the 21 EMA of 31 double. That's quite a discount by $1 or 3%. I think the target for this is $34. There's a lot of good-looking trades right now. And it's from losers going to the winning side and winners just looking better as well. So just because they have too much momentum. So there's other areas. We said the market's not going to take off. In terms of the semis and Qs, it looks like they're at target and over the overall growth story. But there's other areas that look like they can move, which we talked about. So silver, uranium. So I'm going to look at these closely today. I actually revamped the portfolio massively today. So I guess I'll talk about that quickly. Bought NVIDIA. Hold on, let me see something here. Abercrombie and Fitch, I'm still in. I changed my position. I reduced the holdings to allow for new names. I got long CLS, an electrical equipment name. ADMA is a biotech firm. Hey Biotech, but I'm following technicals on this and right-sizing the position. And GBTC, which is Bitcoin. So it's my new portfolio. I'm very happy with it on pretty much every look back and going forward into the rest of the year. Okay. So best trades in the market. I just want to highlight again because we are all-time highs. First buy, semis and Nasdaq are the reason. I think they'll just start to peter out here. It was a big jump up. Might have a little bit more to go, but I think it's going to settle here for a little bit. Other areas definitely look attractive. And biotechs look, their best long in the market right now. Best trade overall in the market. And then oil and silver looking weak. Maybe silver becomes an opportunity very soon. All right. Peace.